Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Doug.
And I'm Lorenzo.
This is Good Suffering. Now, each week we review a film that I've seen,
But I haven't.
but before we get to that, we like to do a little horror news segment.
Horror news.
How could I need sound bites when I have you?
Yeah, I deliver every time.
Always on.
I'm always on, baby.
Now let's not bury the lead here. Let's talk about the Halloween trailer dropping.
The what?
I know, right? They're making a new Halloween movie.
No way.
I know.
How have we not covered that yet?
Shit, I don't know.
Oh boy, let's talk about this trailer.
It seems like we talk about this movie every single
Because
episode.
I am a fiend for this news cycle. I'm following it all the time.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I honestly there's this great you know what? I might give a shout out to the Instagram. I might have to you might have to solve for me as I find it. But there's this great Instagram account that just posts strictly about Halloween. I think it's
Sure.
Halloween
Yeah.
H40.
You want to find it? Here, I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got it.
Oh, sweet. Hey, and we're back.
All right. So it is Halloween _H40.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a fan account, probably.
It's a fan
right?
account. But man, they just keep me so excited, constantly in the loop.
Hey.
I'm just pumped. I'm sorry. Enough of that. But yeah, so the trailer.
So what did I guess in true good suffering format, what'd you think of it?
Well, I gotta be honest with you, John. A little thrown off by seeing Jamie Lee Curtis with long hair.
Right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But I was like, oh wait, that makes sense.
I really hope there's an Activia spot.
Yeah, just somewhere.
Just
Even
like
if
her
it's
just
in a
eating some
newspaper.
yogurt.
Yeah.
And she's
yeah.
like, and she just turns to the camera and is like, I keep regular in my fight for Michael Myers with Activia.
That's a little on the nose,
Yeah.
like the movie we talk about a little
Yeah.
later. Yeah, so that's weird. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what they. There's so many little references to the past
I was gonna
movies
say, I like
too.
the
Even
continuity.
Halloween 3.
There's really good stuff. Yeah, I like also
They
I
have
thought
the
it was a little
masks in the
cheesy
background.
at first, but I kind of grew to like it because I kept watching it.
Mm.
Wasn't that her brother or something? Or no, that was only a myth.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Halloween 2 doesn't count in this one.
Right, nothing.
I love
counts.
it. I love
Yeah.
it so much. There's a shot with a drawing of Loomis in it too, like Sam Loomis. I'm super hyped.
But there's a lot of cool things in that account that I just gave the shout out to, pointed out something how obviously it shows the scar on her arm that she gets when she's sliced.
Right.
But there's one that I didn't catch. There's a hole in his neck.
Yeah, from when he gets stabbed.
Right.
And he's also only got one eye. Cause from when he gets shot in the eye.
Yo, wait a minute.
Yeah, this Michael's only gonna have one working eye.
But how do you see? How prominent is it?
I don't know, but there's a lot of reports about it. Maybe it was just confirmed or something.
but not necessarily.
Yeah, maybe
seen.
there's a shot where one eye is darker.
It
Should be the eye that's facing in that original poster too, because I think he gets shot in his right eye.
No,
Does he not get shot in his right
he
eye?
gets. It's not his right eye. He gets shot. No.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
No.
The first shot is in the eye. I think when Loomis comes in and pop, 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 pop.
You know what? We're gonna have to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to the tapes.
Yeah. I definitely got to watch Halloween again in preparation for this one.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I
yes.
need another excuse to watch my comfy time horror movie.
And just spoiler alert. As we draw nearer, I think we should probably watch some Halloween movies that I haven't seen because there are a couple.
Yeah. No, you haven't seen 3. Have you seen 2 in the hospital?
Yeah, I've seen 2.
You seen 4? With the little girl?
Yeah.
You have seen?
But that. I mean, it was so long ago, and it was on AMC. I don't think it. I wouldn't count it.
Nah.
Yeah.
No. We should at least watch H20. We should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
H20 I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I definitely haven't Season of the Witch. Right? Is 3?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean,
It has nothing to do with Michael Myers,
Yeah.
but it's fantastic.
anyway. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll
And
do all.
for
of them.
all my New Jersey friends, director of Halloween 3 and also Fright Night 2 is going to be at Monster Mania Con in September, which I will definitely be attending, hopefully with a friend of mine named Taylor. And maybe Lorenzo.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
If he likes horror, I don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of getting into it now.
Are you? Oh, yeah, nice.
Wait, where is this? You said in Jersey. Is it in
Yeah, it's
Jersey
down
or
in
is it-
Cherry Hill. I was at it
Oh.
last year. That's where I got my Shining poster and stuff
Yeah,
signed.
that's kind of predominantly where I want to go because you got a lot of cool stuff from there. Cool
That's
experiences.
my Freddy glove too.
Yeah.
It's a really cool time.
Are there gonna be like people dressed up and stuff though?
A few, not as much as like a Comic-Con.
Okay, good.
No,
I still scare easy. Don't get me wrong, guys.
I hope.
Very easy.
Good. We're gonna do some haunted houses. We should do some haunted house reviews for this.
Haunted house reviews,
towards the October.
dude. You're a maniac. Let's do it.
I know. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, hopefully you guys listened to our bonus episode on Hereditary prior to this, but if not, it is a great film. And by the time this comes out, it will have been in theaters for a while. So like, definitely catch that if you haven't yet.
Yes.
I think we can both agree that it's very, very worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to hear like some in depth about our opinions, you can go back and listen to that bonus episode. We've got a little bit of info on the new American Horror Story season. Whether that makes me more or less excited for it, it's kind of it's at this point we're like 8 seasons in, 7 seasons in. It's just like I'm a little drained, but they're definitely
like 3.
This new season is going to be a crossover between seasons 1 and 3, which is Murder House and Coven. There's not a lot of details coming out of it yet, but it will certainly be some kind of crossover event. And I definitely applaud them for keeping things fresh. I mean, last season was a little meh. I watched it all the way through. It was the first season since the first that I sat through weekly.
Like live, I guess it was happening.
It's so hard for me to watch TV live, but it was DVR'd and I was watching it either night of or day after, something like that. But I was on it weekly, and I just like good for them to not just kind of just be like, okay, well this season's the zombie season, and now this season's the vampire season.
Right.
Like it seems like they're really trying to at least for better or for worse, like really kind of keep reaching farther and farther out there.
Maybe they're trying to get that demographic that I'm in, where I'm a firm believer that the first one was just the best season, and I know there are a lot of others like myself that believe that too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
It's still got a shit ending though. I mean, all the seasons have really bad endings, but
Hey, well, I wish them the best. I think it's a cool series. I like what they're doing. I just don't like the execution of it necessarily.
If it gets people into horror, I appreciate
Yeah.
that it, as gateway or as like horror light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Big news. Ewan McGregor will be playing Danny Torrance in the Shining sequel, Doctor Sleep. It's a sequel to the book, not to the movie. It is not canon with anything that happens in, Stanley Kubrick's film, the greatest film ever made.
Stephen King's favorite.
Stephen King's favorite of his adaptations.
Yep.
Famously, wildly approves of it.
Jot that down.
But it is definitely going to be heavily based on Stephen King's book, Doctor Sleep, and the events of his novel, and also, I guess, the Mick Garris miniseries from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And Ewan McGregor is doing that.
And Ewan McGregor is going to be Danny. It makes sense. He looks like an adult Danny, at least if you go off of the Danny from with the cute chubby face, and I see it. I saw a side-by-side picture and I was like, oh yeah.
I'll have to see that.
Yeah,
because I don't see that at all off the top of my head. I just with Ewan McGregor, I
you
just
see Obi-Wan.
I see Obi-Wan, and I see just a total hunk.
He's getting such softer features now that he's getting older.
God bless him.
He's definitely not train spotting anymore. He's a little more chill. He's gonna be in that Christopher Robin,
which I'm so amped. I know this is not that kind of podcast, but man. So excited for that.
Yeah, I love Ewan McGregor. Yeah. He's great.
I got tears in my eyes just thinking about that trailer. That trailer brought me to tears.
It was a sweet trailer. Yeah, it's cute. Now, Friday the 13th, the game, while still going on, will not have any more DLC because it is finally affected by the Friday the 13th lawsuit that's been going on between the original writer of the film and Sean Cunningham, the director and producer. We produced all of them, but he's directed the first. His company, and people are really upset at the writer, Victor something was his name.
Von Frankenstein.
Yeah, Victor Von Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Fans were really upset at him because he's the one who started the lawsuit, but really he only got like $9,000 for that script that turned into such a successful series of movies and toys and comic books and now 2 video games, and there's a new law. It's like a super duper new law that says after 35 years, you're allowed to like renegotiate or do something with like your prior, like you can retake back consent or like work out a new deal. Like he's basically he tried to work out a new deal for rights money
Mhm.
with Sean Cunningham, and Sean wasn't having like any of it.
Damn.
Yeah, so
That's
that's what's holding
lame.
things up. And this is such a new law that like judges can't really figure out what to do with it. And like the way the law was supposed to work is not working that way because it wasn't supposed to go to trial. Like they give you like a 2-year period to make a deal, and like Sean just wasn't. He's like, I want this money.
You know, this
So-
is this new deal
Yeah.
just pales in comparison to FDR's.
To FDR's brilliant new deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
You fucking left wing.
Hey, watch it, buddy. FDR was a saint.
Yeah. Finally, last little piece of news.
Yeah.
They are doing an HD fucking remake of my favorite video game of all time, Resident Evil 2.
Dose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pre-orders are up already. There's going to be a deluxe version and a lot of like pre-order bonuses and stuff, different skins. I'm super excited about it. I remember it. Like horror video games and especially Resident Evil were like a big part of like me coming into my own as a horror fan. So I'm super excited to play it again. I have the HD remake of 0 and 1 and of 4. I'm super excited for it, and I hope that like, you know, all of you guys go out and buy it because it is a fantastic way to engage in some horror video games. And it's gonna be on everything, PC and PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
It's a great game, man.
You remember it?
Throws back.
I'm,
yeah, yeah.
I'm waiting for the third one too. The
Throws
third
back.
one was
I just heard what I said.
Yeah.
It's a big throwback.
Yeah.
Wayo, what time is it? Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I specifically remember that because my cousin. Yes, my cousin was playing it like downstairs. I had a basement at the time, and he was playing it by himself. And I snuck in. He didn't hear me, and I just scared the shit out of him as he was playing it. Yeah.
God,
No, wait a minute. That's not true. That was Goosebumps. He was watching Goosebumps. The Resident Evil thing was I was at a friend's birthday party. He had a little sister, and we started playing the game, and he put it up like full blast. And like when it says like the name of the game, like
Resident Evil.
Yeah, like she freaked out and cried, and then we spent the rest of the night playing.
So today we're talking about Brian Yuzna's film Society. Now, it was finished in 1989, but not released until 1992. It is a body horror film with effects by Screaming Mad George, who also did Big Trouble in Little China, Predator, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, Bride of Reanimator, and Tales from the Hood, which I think is super underrated. Great horror movie, horror anthology. But I guess let's talk about what this movie is about. You have the IMDb up?
I have it up. Let's see. It's good. I'm glad I didn't read it before I watched the movie. It says, an ordinary teenage boy discovers his family is part of a gruesome orgy cult for the social elite. I didn't know that's what it was going to be about. So like I said, good thing I didn't.
You went in really blind. Probably
Very.
probably more blind than like you have
Most
for
things, like
most of the
anything
other
else,
films that we did.
Aside from maybe Dead Alive.
Mm.
Because I was expecting like a zombie movie. It's not quite a zombie movie. But
Right.
anyway, yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Just teenage boy,
What's-
ordinary. I don't know
what's-
about ordinary. I mean, he's kind of
He's a little
yuppie.
paranoid.
Yeah, or in that
too.
too. He's a little
What did they describe the cult as? What did they say?
gruesome orgy cult.
Christ, that's a
Yeah.
great band name.
Gruesome orgy cult.
Gruesome Orgy Cult. Yeah.
People might think that's just like a weird.
GOC. Like,
Like,
oh, I'm going to
play
see
on-
fucking GOC play, man.
Oh, is that like the Eyes Wide Shut version of Blue Oyster Cult? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Gruesome Orgy Cult. So what'd you think of this, man?
All right.
I'm shaking in my boots.
I know you are. First of all, let me just say that despite it being released in '92, it is still extremely '80s, painfully '80s.
I was waiting for that phrase. There
and
we
we
go.
all know how Lorenzo feels about '80s movies. That being said, I think going into it blind was good
Mhm.
because I ended up going along for the ride. I liked the mystery of it. I was just the whole time trying to figure out what was going on.
Mhm.
Sincerely. Yeah, I liked it.
Good. I told you it was a smart script, right? I told you it's like a well written script. It plays like a mystery
Yeah.
more than it does a horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Until
most
like
of
20 minutes
like
later.
just yeah, right. But I mean, everything leading up to that, all like the body stuff. I mean, just the first go around of it was it the sister?
The
Like,
sister in the shower.
right.
Yeah.
She's like twisted body. I
Yeah.
saw it, and by the way, I was eating dinner watching this movie. Bad move. Yeah, I mean, I looked up at that. I wasn't expecting something so soon to kind of come up with that, and
Right.
just very subtle. And I enjoyed that too. And then that just kind of kept going, kept happening, like all these things that are making what's his name, Bill.
Yeah. Bill Whitney.
Yeah, Bill feel like crazy because everyone's telling him he's just wrong and he's just hearing things. The tapes changed. I love the mystery of it, and I really did enjoy this movie despite it being such an '80s movie.
Yeah, it plays with some tropes that we've seen in a lot of other movies, like, you know, knowing that something's going wrong, and everybody who's in on it is telling you like, oh no, you know, nothing's wrong. They make you feel paranoid.
Right.
You know, the people who are in the know are dropping dead. It really does play like a lot of mystery and thriller type films.
Right.
But like it does something so interesting with those, and like to place that so firmly in such a weird fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think makes it really special because if you look at like Reanimator, if you look at like other like really effects or even like Dead Alive, which we've seen, like like the script almost kind of takes like a kind of like second place to like what you're just like visuals and throwing crazy shit at you.
Yeah.
But this really doesn't, and like there is still a message that it gets brought, you know, that gets brought up, and there's also like it's also like a pretty intimate and interesting like story within itself. You know what I mean? Like I can't trust my parents, I can't trust my friends, I can't trust anybody I go to school with. You know what I mean? I've got my one friend here. I forgot his name, but like, you know, it's just like it works on like a lot of different levels that are really cool and like really bring it together. And that's why I wanted to throw it so quickly into the show. You know, like we're 7 episodes in, and I was just like, yes, it's time for Society.
Yeah.
Like the past 6 movies have been primers to get into this stuff.
And you've like, I don't know if on air you said that, but you said that to me before. Because we do speak in real life, not just only.
No, yeah, I see you once every 2 weeks.
But yeah, so this was being hyped up in a way, especially since the cover just looks gross.
Yeah, Arrow Video did a great cover for the Blu-ray, and I guess there's a DVD copy of it too. Check that out if you haven't, because it is like, besides being gruesome, pretty beautiful cover.
Yeah. And I had told you, Doug, just how body stuff kind of like doesn't affect me like so much as like it just grosses me out. I'm not a squeamish person, but just something about body stuff happening just does it. I don't know, and not like, you know, torture porn, not like Saw stuff. Just something like this. Basically, what we were watching, stuff like that just grosses me out. Like just weird deformed bodies and shit, fucks me up. But to go back to Dead Alive a bit, you know, just the effects on that were really, really cool, but on this, like, that took it on a whole like, another level.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
with the shunting.
You mean
The whole thing is the shunting. Like that was the whole process of what they do is a shunt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think an actual shunt in real life is some sort of like, I think it's a brain procedure where you like shift something in the brain, but I think like just to shunt in general is just like the shifting and moving of various body parts.
Yeesh.
And that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that whole like just sticking, I don't know who I don't know. It's literally like an orgy to me. I was just watching. I don't know who was what doing what. But like, you know, sticking the hand and then going through like the person's mouth, like just all
I
the
think
way
that
up.
was that main dude with the cigar. I think that was him who does
Right,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
I get him and the therapist guy a little confused, like towards the end. They're
Yeah.
just both bald old men, and everything's just
Both really
you know
creepy.
just like dripping and
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god.
it's so great too
Ugh,
that when
God, I'm still getting grossed out.
it's so great too because the lighting switches like that hard, like hard red lighting, and the movie is fucking on.
Yeah.
From there till the credits roll, the
Yeah.
movie's fucking on.
Yeah. No, it was. You weren't kidding. You were like, it's the craziest 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's a long 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you're there. Like you're just in it. There's nowhere for you to go. There's no like respite at all.
That's great. He goes up the stairs. The dude's head turns into like a hand. He goes into the room.
That's when he
his
sees his parents.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god. I remember the first time I saw the dad with the like the butt head, like the anus head.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm seeing this in a movie. Oh my god, it just tickled all my sweet spots. And this was a blind buy for me too. That Blu-ray, I saw it at a store, at like a movie shop, and I said, this looks awesome. I can't leave here without this. And I picked it up and I brought it home and I sat on it for like, 2 weeks, maybe a month, something like that. And I said, I guess it's time to check this movie out.
Did you do any research before?
Nah.
Just,
I knew Brian Usna's name because I knew Reanimator and I knew he produced it. But that was really about it. Wow. And
what about Arrow? Like, did you know? Like,
I know Arrow Video. They do a lot. They've done a lot of really, really great releases. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head as I'm like looking back there. They're primarily a UK based company, and their UK stuff is really cool too. Like I have the UK version of like all their releases of David Cronenberg's early films, his short films, and then his like hour-long, so I guess like really extended short films. They recently released like a really, really gorgeous copy of The Thing. It was like the first Blu-ray of The Thing to be pressed and like transferred from like the original negative and not like a copy.
Oh snap!
Yeah, they do a lot of really good work. I'm looking at my copy of Children of the Corn they just released. They do a lot. They're just like, I would say they're the premier like horror specific Blu-ray company. Maybe not my personal favorite, but they're doing the best work and they're the ones always pumping stuff out.
Yeah, just from like the cover itself, it's cool, and then like when they do like their logo, like the little cutscene before everything starts rolling.
Yeah.
That was really cool and retro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the movie is just beautiful. Like it looks really, really great.
Yeah, they do really good transfers. Yeah. I really appreciate the work they do. They have a Big Trouble in Little China release too, but I think that's UK only. And Big Trouble really kind of deserves like a really nice release because there's just like a bare bones Blu-ray that's out.
Yeah, but you and John Carpenter, man.
I fucking love John Carpenter, man. Yeah. I guess needless to say, I really love this movie. I guess I'll just chime in and really just plainly that I love this movie.
And like upon your first time seeing it, like just right off the bat, like or like did it take you to like I don't know sit on it a little bit afterwards? Like
nah, I was in it while it was happening. Yeah, I guess because I saw it like maybe I've had this movie like 2-3 years now, and like. I just loved it from the first shot. I was already in this like headspace to where like it's like how crazy can you get? You know what I mean? Throw it at me.
But it takes a long time for it to get there. Aside from the parts where you see it during. I mean, you see like even
I was in. Yeah. I was into that. I was following. I was like, what is gonna happen?
Right.
Like like I saw this like I was as misled by the cover as you were. I thought it was gonna be crazy and gruesome and really dark. I thought it might actually have frightened me, but I don't even think the point of this movie is to frighten.
I mean, if you go back and listen to the last episode, like I was totally against watching this movie just from the cover alone. I'm like, I'm not watching this, and it's not that kind of movie.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't want to jump the gun here. I don't know if you're saving that for later, but I want to ask you about the whole Kami thing.
Oh,
this is one of your.
Perfect Communist 5.
Yeah, am I jumping a bit?
No. We can talk about that. That's fine. Well, I mean, the themes in this movie are pretty obvious. The rich eat the poor. You know what I mean? And they're sucking the lifeblood out of the poor, and it's like portraying the rich as something like that's other than human. There's a lot of quotes like within the movie that like I mean it's a little on the nose, a lot of it. Very on the nose. But like there's quotes like I've got them written down here like I don't think about them, they don't think about me. You know what I mean? Which it's just kind of like within the context of that is just like, okay, well, he's got to disconnect with his family. But upon the revelation of like, oh, you're not actually our kid. You know what I mean? This is you're different. There's that can have like a lot of meaning towards like we like if you're not focusing on the rich and what they're doing, they're not focusing on you. They're not focusing on like common people. They're not focusing on lower class people, and they're allowed to get away with what they want. Whatever they're doing,
and the like exclusivity of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like two totally separate, like
not
groups
even
living within a contained, like a universal society.
Yeah. Hey, you said the title.
Yeah. Hey. there's you really deserve what's going to happen to you. You're going to make a wonderful contribution to society and all that, like those kind of plays like that.
Yep.
He's too busy with things in his own world to worry about ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many little things that what they're taking as these ideas and they're putting them into the personal story. So though it's on the nose when you kind of know what everything's going to be, I really noticed a lot of this upon, multiple watches.
Right.
Like they really are like kind of balancing two things at once with this, because this isn't like inherently a political film until like it becomes like, well, we're rich and we are different and we're going to suck on you and eat you. And, like it really isn't political until then. It's just like a movie about rich people.
Yeah.
If you don't follow the rules, bad things will happen. I've got them all written down here. There's just a lot of like just little one-liners and whatnot.
But yeah, they're all sprinkled out throughout the entire movie. They're like literally just every time, and it's not like any time it gets any. It's not subtle. There's never a point where it's subtle.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Which is weird because the rest of it though, like the effects, the mystery of it is very, very subtle.
Yeah.
It's like not subtle in the sense like you don't see it happening, but like it's more based on his paranoia. Is he seeing what's really happening? Even just the beginning, like when he bites into the apple and he sees like the worms just coming out. Like that's I don't know. It's that isn't necessarily on the nose. It's
right.
just very mysterious. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if what he's seeing is even right. There are moments where I was thinking like maybe he is hallucinating. Yeah. Though since like I know I'm watching this movie, obviously there's real shit going on behind it. Yeah. But like he's just so messed up that he's seeing things now.
Right. And they really do that well with the character of Clarissa, because she's so sympathetic to him. Like once they like really get in. And then it turns out she is one of them, but she is, she doesn't use that power because she's in love with him.
Right.
And, like, they just do a lot of fun things. And there's, like, some non-sequiturs in this movie, non-sequiturs. Like, the mother who eats the hair.
Is that
Clarissa's mother?
Does she... Oh!
Because she's...
Right,
I don't know if she's part of that or not.
Yeah.
It's just, like, there's a couple of, like, little weird things...
Yeah, I don't know what was up with her at all. Just like, I thought that was going to get an explanation.
I think that's just Brian Usna just like throwing shit at the wall.
That reminded me of like a John Waters kind of thing.
Oh yeah. That whole house, that whole set kind of felt like very, very 60s at least.
Yeah.
Brian Usna also did like Reanimator. He produced Reanimator, produced From Beyond and Dolls. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He also like was a writer on that too. So he definitely like exists in a world of like weird ideas. He works a lot with Stuart Gordon, who is like the director of Reanimator and Dagon and From Beyond and things like that. So there was definitely like a weird kind of, I don't know if I would call it surrealist in the way that like Lynch is, but like there's definitely like this detachment from like trying to base your story so in reality. There's like a lot of Lovecraft love within a lot of their work together, and that really bleeds over into society, which Gordon has like nothing to do with.
And I don't know. Now I'm stuck on the Lynch thing. So I didn't think of him at all throughout watching this movie, but. If there's any Lynch movie that I think it's closest to, it's probably what was it? Blue
Velvet? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I was blanking so hard there.
I think when I say perfect communist horror movies, like in the way of Texas Chainsaw, I don't mean it in a way of they are espousing communism. Like they're not specifically talking about it, but they're talking about the ideas that are important to it. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm just being a little self-serving with my own beliefs.
Yeah.
But they certainly are attacking the rich, and Texas Chainsaw is attacking certain things, and all the other movies that I count part of that, like The Stuff. They're all attacking certain things that I think are like part of communism, I guess.
But hey, I honestly didn't see any difference in what in the characters, like all the rich characters in this movie, and what I truly perceive rich people to be like. Aside from all the weird orgy shit, I mean, they probably have orgies like that too.
Yeah,
but without all like the weird body horror stuff going on, that is quite literally just what I picture them to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's not a bad or false like note on that
Yeah,
whatsoever.
fair. Yeah,
Just very
absolutely.
vain, very like just on the surface.
Well, you're a commie in the making, so you're doing good on that.
Hey,
Um, but like, what did you think of like all the kind of the weird incest stuff that like kind
okay.
of like what were you thinking before finding out everything that's
So
going on? Like when he gets the tape from
yeah,
her ex,
even
and things
before
like
that,
Yeah,
um,
when he walks into the room like later on in the movie and they're all like wearing lingerie and stuff
yeah.
together. Like what were you like? What was like? Where was your brain going there?
No, no, no. But even before then, like early on, like the first interactions between what's his sister's name? Bill and Jenny?
Jenny, yeah,
Yeah. Just there was something there that was like just not it didn't seem like brother and sister. Like they seemed like there was like a familiarity there, but like a disconnect too. And a lot of like just touchy feely kind of stuff going on there. I don't know. And like even like when he opened up the bathroom, you know, the shower and like it was just I don't know. I don't have siblings. I don't know how like familiar you can be with like your siblings. I know they have really close connections. But anyway, it just that to me felt weird. It felt weird that like he was like, you know, brunette, everybody else is blonde. So I was already catching on. And then as it progresses it just gets even more weird. And no, I had no idea what to expect really.
Right.
I wasn't sure if everyone was just like in on a facade of like no one's real, like no one's actually like related to each other. I thought maybe this was all like a ploy to like just I don't know, maybe a hereditary kind of thing. Like they were trying to hoist him up to be something. I don't know. I had no idea. I just knew it was weird as shit. And I knew that I wanted to find out. I was really in the mystery. I was just I loved it.
There's that great payoff like during the shunt where like you know the mother and the daughter mold together and she like kind of pops out of her like kind of vaginal area and she's like, oh, if you have any edible fantasies that you want to indulge in, now's the time. Is man, there's really good payoff to like a lot of like the anxieties that are given to you during
Yeah.
the film, and
No, I guess I was so relieved that it wasn't the movie I thought it was going to be that I kind of like let go a little bit like when everything was happening. Still gross. Even the opening credits, the title cards are just over that scene.
yeah,
So I kind of already saw. I was checking out at that point. I was like, okay, this is the entire movie now, and it's not until the end. But just the build up to it, like I enjoyed the story so much that I felt like no matter how gross it gets, I want to know how it ends. Like what happens here,
right. What's the payoff?
and where are all these freaking people coming from? All these guests.
I love that like I guess besides the kid who gets turned inside out at the end,
Yeah,
like that he
the
kinda
bully
pulls-
dude.
yeah, the bully dude, like nobody dies. You know what I mean? Like none of the rich people die. And that was so much of a better ending than like if they like burn the house down with them all in it or something, because like it's just and it ends with like him just going like, oh well, I guess I got an opening in Washington this summer or something along those lines. Like it's just great. It's just like you know, and he kind of had to he had to there was no real winning with them. Like Bill never really has the upper hand.
Yeah,
Um, and it
he
just
even has to get saved by
Yeah.
like his friend and Clarissa.
yeah, absolutely. And it was just like sending through this message of just like an unbeatable ruling class, an
Yeah.
unbeatable, upper class.
Yeah, no, I got that.
They're
big
just so
time.
unaffected by it. They're just like, oh well, he got away, whatever.
Yeah,
We
they
did-
just keep
nothing. There
going
was
about
no
it.
threat to us. There was
Nothing.
no threat to us.
Nothing. And the fact that like they don't even it doesn't seem to me that they're truly trying to kill him. It's almost like a lame villain, like where they're clearly giving you enough time to escape while they tell you their master plan. Like there was no actual danger. It felt like for Bill.
Right.
It just felt like this is a system. I mean, it really we can't stress enough how like on the nose it is. Just all this stuff about society, and it felt like it's futile. And that they accept it too. All the rich people accept it too. Like they know their status. They know they're not going to be taken off their high horse. So whatever, fuck it, let them go. Let him see this. Let him tell people. Even like, what if he tells people? No one's going to care. No one's going to find anything.
No one's gonna believe.
Yeah,
you know
that
what
too.
I mean? Now, technically, like we spent a lot of time on like the effects, and this movie is directed kind of a little down the road, like a middle of the road rather.
Mm.
But like it really starts to get really interesting. Like once, I would say it begins like right when they first like kind of capture him and send him to the hospital. But he like really works with a lot of like really fun angles and really like a lot of packing a lot of people into one shot. And Brian Usner really gets to flex like a little bit of like a director's eye
I don't
towards
know.
the end. Did you not really pick that up, or did you
No.
not really care?
No, I didn't feel that at all. Because like what I was gonna say is like, you know, a fair warning to anyone who's like shares my sentiment of just kind of hating cheesy '80s movies. It's very very cheesy. Like the beach part was like probably the most cringiest part. And before he gets a tape,
where they're all squirting the
yeah, like he sees like these little kids like just military crawling across. How like he turns around and like he just hits like face first into like this woman's chest, right? Or her mom rather, Clarissa's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cheesy. It was so bad. It felt like an after school program. It's just yeah.
But yeah,
So
I mean,
you do have to get past that.
I mean, if you like 80s horror movies, you'll be fine with all that.
Okay.
You know?
Well, and if you're like me, just get past it. Just stick around for the story.
No, but the directing is really fun with those weird angles and them coming at people's faces. Really
What weird angles?
Like just like those strange, like I don't know how to explain it. Like where they're just like they're hitting people from like here, and they're just like really in your face, and it's very like I don't know. Dead Alive does a lot of that too.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead, which you haven't seen, does a lot of that. But I just really kind of love that in horror. It kind of gives it like a weird feeling, almost like out of body ish. It like really takes it. It's like it's not very like documentarian, but it's not really like a very native shot.
You know what I liked? I think the most like that looked nice was when he was in the woods, and he found the body in the car.
Yeah,
Of,
that
like, the
doesn't
guy
turn
who's-
out to actually be.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
blows my mind. Did they explain that? I don't even remember. I don't know.
Non sequiturs.
That just
Well, he's
yeah.
one of them. Like the kid winds up being one
right.
of them,
You
but
know, he is.
No.
But why is he dead in the car then in the trunk?
he's not actually dead. I guess it was just like a prank to make him look paranoid and to just like start getting Bill to like second guess what he sees.
But no, I think that part was probably the coolest part.
The movie
It
turns out
just
to
looks
just
nice.
all kind of be a game they're playing with Bill.
The game,
Just the game.
pretty much.
I wish.
Except it's all real.
Except it's all awful and real.
Yeah.
And much less like much more implication of like awful things about our society.
More so than like the game.
The
to me?
game, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I never really thought of the game as much of a critique.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's a fun story. It's a great movie.
Great movie.
But-
Great movie. It's like your favorite, I think.
Of Fincher's, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason.
The second favorite, I mean, Gone Girl.
Anyway.
But yeah, do you have anything else to say about this, man?
I think just to go back, just to reiterate, like honestly, I did have to get past the 80s. I did roll my eyes a lot at this movie at first. Just plainly, like down the middle is maybe putting it a little too kindly sometimes. Like there's nothing calling out that was particularly good. I don't know. I mean, even like when he does find, I keep going to that beach scene. That stuck out to me. It's just so crappy. Like I hated it.
It was a function. It had a little bit of function to it.
Anyway, yeah, I had to keep going. Despite that scene, I was really interested in the mystery and the story, finding out, especially like when he goes to the therapist multiple times, and the therapist is like clearly like steering him down a very specific path. When he gave him the tape, though, there was a part of me that kind of hoped that was gonna be genuine because like it's definitive, it's on tape, and then he hears it back and it's not real. I also liked when he tried to get the tape back, and the kid's like dead in their car accident.
Yeah.
And
He's still alive too. Like that's a fake body too, because you see in the scene with the funeral,
right,
and then he winds up being the one who gets the fist through him.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
big game. It's a big game.
But they just have so much control over everything.
Yeah, well,
you can't escape it.
Yep.
That's awful. That's just man.
It's a little bleak for such a
It
kind of fun
is.
movie.
It is. That's why I'm getting frustrated now thinking about it more and more. Like it's too relevant. unfortunately.
This really says something about our society.
Bing.
So you think it's time to reveal the next movie? This is your choice, so this is
my
all
choice.
you.
Yeah. So, and you know what? A listener asked me about the logistics of choosing.
We have listeners?
We have listeners.
That's awesome.
Handful. Yeah, there was a listener that asked about like what's kind of time frame like would we allow, like let's say like you just watched like Hereditary or whatever, right? That movie just came out. Or Get Out, like that was what, last year? That was last year?
Yeah, Get Out was last year.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so that was last year. Like, and
That was more than a year ago now.
Let's say I hadn't seen it. Like, could we do that for the show? Like, he was asking me those kinds of questions, and you know what? I don't know. I gave him. I told him we have to feel it out basically, and especially if it's a movie that like you have seen more than once, maybe. Or if it's like still in theaters or something, or if it just had been in theaters like that last season, there's no way it's gonna happen. No. You more than anything have to have marinated with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
because we've toyed around with like Possession, but I haven't seen Possession. But you really want to do it for the show as an excuse to see it.
I just want to see it.
So I gotta see it.
And then we probably won't be able to do that for a while.
Yeah, I want to sit with it for a little bit. That's
But so I guess that's just a way of like preemptively saying that with all that in mind, this movie is important to you.
Very important to me.
It's so important.
It's about 3 years old now.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it is The Witch.
Yep. Robert Eggers. Yeah. His remake of The Shining.
So we're gonna see. Oh, really?
No, not in a serious way, but like there's just so much Shining influence on it. I guess we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. But...
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch this. I had an opportunity to watch this, never actually happened. I'm kind of glad that I didn't though, because now I can do it here with you.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to do this for the show, because since the beginning I've been like, we should do The Witch.
Yeah.
So.
And goats are cool.
Goats are super cool. Yeah. Mountain goats especially.
Yeah, well, that's our next podcast. Getting Lorenzo into the mountain goats.
There's already happening. There's already a mountain goats podcast.
I know. I know, but still, we can have our own.
We can. You're right.
But yeah, so it's The Witch. That is on Netflix currently, my recollection.
It also should be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and on demand.
Yeah. And on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, there's so many ways to watch it. This one
is pretty accessible.
Yeah, it's a very recent movie. People, you guys out there listening might have seen it already. If not, I hope you've been watching other ones, or at least trying to. Maybe they're not as easy to get to, but this one,
this should almost be the easiest.
Yeah, so just get around and watching it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and don't forget, if you like what you hear, to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. 5 stars, hopefully.
5
stars. At least four. Like, I know we're not perfect.
I can handle 4.
Yeah, but 3 would shatter my ego.
Yeah,
I can't be middling. You know what I mean? No. And you can follow us on all of our social media. We are on Twitter at good_suffering. We are on Instagram at Good Suffering Podcast. And we're on Facebook at facebook.com/GoodSufferingPod/.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys. And this has been Good Suffering.